All right, welcome everyone to another video. Thank you so much for the support on the first one on the tier list. It was super fun making it, and I'm glad it was so well received. So in this video today, I'd like to talk about the different compositions that is available and strong in TMA. I'll go through all the maps, the pushback maps, and destination, attack, and defend, and make some thoughts about what goes into a pick, and a comp. So if you want to just insta-lock and play your favorite character, that is 100% fine, and I do believe that you can win with most characters in this game and most combination. However, there will always be a most efficient way to do it, the meta, and these are some of the comps that will do very well in the meta right now, and this might change in the future, but I mean, for now these characters are very strong, but on the other hand, some of them, their kit are also just viable, and they'll probably be meta for a long while, even through some changes. So first of all, I would like you to think about two main things when it comes to picking a composition, and it's the objective and it's HP and healing. So for instance, Day might be at the top of the power ranking, but without healing he won't do much. He has 600 HP and it takes at least 2 healers to keep him sustained, otherwise you can't really utilize his full health and you won't get the full potential from Day. Not that you can play him with only 1 healer, for instance, but that would require Ozymandias to use all his orbs for healing and not offensively, which has a negative impact on the total performance of the Ozymandias, since attacking with orbs also removes healing orb from the opponent's Ozymandias. So you do want to balance attacking and defending with your orbs, clearing orbs and removing their healing orbs. And when that's said, for instance, a comp with a Noble, even though he's strong, and Nightcore is strong, those two together won't do very well, since you can't push the card, so you need to keep the objective in mind. Pyro might do very well on defense on the destination, but won't do very well on this map, for instance. Noble is a destination monster, and I'll get into all these things during this one. Anyway, so let's talk about pushback. So the first comp I will talk about, and pushback is the more competitive game in my mode. It is just the better maps, and you'll definitely just get generally better games here. And if you really want to win, I believe the strongest comp right now is always you need to take a stand. Start with Ozymandias whenever you're building a comp. He is just he's overtuned, and he just brings a lot of offense and defense, and it doesn't really make sense not building a comp around him, really. I don't have a comp today where Ozzy isn't one of the main parts, and see if this changes. If some other characters become super meta and Ozzy is bad, then that will change the entire meta, and I do hope the developers are going to just do a lot of frequent patching for this game, even though we are in a bit of a drop right now. Anyway, so starting the composition on pushback, I believe this is probably the strongest comp if played correctly right now, and you start with Ozzy. You want a tank pretty much in all comps as well, and it's simply to gain the space. As I said in the last video, don't think of tanks as someone who needs to receive damage, more of someone who can create space, and Day's slow and damage pressure, it definitely creates space. It enables and it pretty much increases the damage dealt from every other character on your team, which is and he's not going to die. He has 600 HP, and he'll take a riot hook to really kill him, to be honest. As well as the wall is a very, very strong tool to gain pressure, and the wall has multiple uses, especially on the pushing. Go here to the black side. For instance, one of the big issues when pushing the card is, for instance, a Noble shooting down from a flanking route or something. Day has this great wall ability, so he can literally just wall off where the Noble is, and the Noble have to reposition. As long as the Noble is shooting into the tank, it's actually alright, but if the Noble is getting into the backline access, that might be problematic. So Day provides cover versus Noble, and in general puts pressure on everyone, increases the damage from the team, and he's just... I wouldn't say he's mandatory in every comp, I don't think so, but for pushback, I think he definitely... There's a good case to start with the Day, always. I believe Riot is a good counter, but if you're just a new player and you're opening up, you don't know what the opponents are playing, I believe Day is a really good pick to start your comp here. So, alongside Day, you will also have to think, what are the opponents playing? And they're probably playing Day as well, and Riot simply is the best tank versus Day, since he can very reliably hook Day, farm ult on Day, and his shields, as we saw in the last video, provides a good cover versus the ultimate. In general, these two, it's not picked much together, but I think that's a shame. They actually synergizes pretty well, and if you had communication and the knowledge to do so, you could cycle the wall and the barrier, just repeatedly pushing forward, because there's not much to do if you just put a wall down, push the card a little further, put up a barrier to protect your team, and it doesn't really matter if you take some damage in between. They are very, very tanky. And then you just put another wall, get a little more ground, put up another barrier, get a little more ground, and just think about the objective. It doesn't really matter how many times you kill the opponents. It won't really get you any points, or it really doesn't. So it's a very effective way to push forward, and this comp is not easy to pull off, but there is basically no counterplay to it. And since, as I talked about the healing part, you as Medias won't be able to heal these two characters up, and if you can't heal them up, you won't get the full value. So I will add Devil here. I believe you can add Tesla, but I feel Devil just brings much stronger ultimate. And again, this is a very competitive comp. It's a comp you want to play with your in tournaments, for instance. It's a full team. It might not be as good in solo queue, but I would still believe it has a lot of merit there. I think the reason you pick Devil is because her shield synergizes super well. And in general, the kit with Riot, you put down your healing turret alongside his bubble, and it's a guaranteed full heal to pretty much everyone. In addition, her ultimate buffs up everyone on the team, of course, their damage and tankiness and movement speed, which is amazing for all these characters. But especially Riot can get into the backline and melee the squishes, killing them very, very fast. In general, these two should be considered a pair, pretty much. If you're playing one, I highly recommend playing the other. They just synergize so well. Even just protecting the turret with the barrier is super good, since you can shoot out and you can shoot in. For instance, in comparison, Day Wall will also block the turret shots from your own turret. So in general, this comp is very, very strong. I highly recommend giving it a go in pushback. If you see your comp is very close to this, I would pick the missing piece and play with it, because it's pretty easy and efficient. And it is very strong. Yeah, of course, you need to play the characters probably as well, but I mean, these are not the hardest characters in the game either. So it's generally just very strong. Another option I want to try and show here is like a long range composition. It starts off with, of course, Noble or Ozzy. Let's always have Ozzy here. And we still want Day, we still want the tank, because he has long range, he provides lots of damage, and as I said, he enables the slow, and it basically increases damage for everyone else. So Noble is a very, very high skill capped. Getting value on Noble is hard, but when you can utilize him, he deals a lot of damage, and he has good potential to pick off the backline. He doesn't require any healing. He is passive. He doesn't require much. He does poke damage. He can go for backline, and he can use his traps very well to just get space. Take here, for instance, if you throw a trap in here, you'll literally remove this much space where you can run in, but your opponents can't run through. They can't destroy the trap, and they'll have to go the long way around. In general, there's a lot of choke points, especially on the facility, this map here. And the trap is just a great tool. And I mean, Noble is very, very strong, and you can definitely win with Noble. Win with most comps, but Noble is... I wouldn't say this comp is unbeatable at all. I definitely feel like this comp can also beat it. So when it comes to the long range comp, you still need another healer to get utilized Day mostly. And even though she is very weak right now, I would very much like this comp as well. I think this comp synergizes super well. You have these three on the card at all times, just pushing, sustaining the Day, and putting some amplifier and damage on the back on the opponents. Just slowing them, amplifying them, then this allows for literally one-shot snipes from Tesla. And Tesla and Noble both put a lot of long-range pressure and can, capitalize on each other. Tesla snipe opens up for Noble to finish them off. And so you might think, why not just take Devil? She's a strong character, and your tile is she's over Tesla. And I mean, you could. There's no doubt. It's very much possible. And Tesla is not the strongest character in the game for sure, but she's very durable. She's actually pretty hard to kill, since she can be make an immortality field, and she can just in general heals herself, and she can make sure that Day will pretty much never die and just keep firing. So. The problem with Devil is she synergizes very poorly with Noble. Their kits are not that good with each other, because the ultimate does not synergize with the Noble's kit, since Noble is more of a flanker and Devil is more of a rush down comp. Anyway, these two comps give them a try on pushback. I promise you, they will absolutely destroy most other comps that doesn't have any synergies. And if you want to swap out like a Riot for a Pyro or something, be my guest. It's all good. I think Pyro and Devil is also a very good match. Coordinate with the ultimate just to get the Pyro in. You don't even need to coordinate Pyro plus Devil ultimate. The Pyro has ultimate all the time. Just use that ult all the time. Whatever Devil has ultimate, use it on the Pyro. That is a very strong combo together. Anyway, let's try and go to Destination Attack. And so, as I said earlier, Noble is an absolute monster on Destination. Both attack and defend, his kit is amazing. When it comes to attack, you want Noble as a bomb carrier. Because he can out-rotate literally everyone, especially the slower character. He can swap sides so easily. There's a lot of, I don't want to call it bugged jumps, but if you jump, let's say from here, into the wall here, you can't actually see out here, but it will push you out over here. Like, sometimes it might bug and your TP goes on cooldown. That is, by the way, a super annoying, frustrating bug. You can also jump from down here all the way up here. This jump I do all the time, just maybe getting our opponents out here, getting in here, putting up a trap, planting the bump. It's all about getting that bump down, and then you'll just have to defend that side. But defending, the problem with Destination, it's not, problem, but it's very hard to plant the bump, but it's also very hard to defuse the bump. So in general, that is, you just need that bump down and then do everything to protect it. But you're very favorable if you already have the bump down. So Noble is an absolute star. He has lots of control through his trap, and his ultimate is very good for defending the bump. You can't really defuse. You can't defuse through it or anything, and everything is so long range. Noble always pretty much on Destination, and I would probably play him on attack and defense since the trap is also super good getting control on defense. Then, of course, we want Ozzy. There is no doubt about that. We want him every time. Just brings way too much damage, crowd control, and utility. Yeah, always pick Ozzy. I've talked a lot about him. Then we need a tank. We need space. And the thing is, so here again, we need to talk about this this health thing. So when it comes to attack, we need space, and we only have one healer here. Noble doesn't need healing, but maybe we don't even need another support for attack. But if we want Day, we pretty much can't have Riot. Like, we can't have both of them. They'll take way too much healing from Ozzy. And for instance, if we go Day, I highly suggest going Pyro second. Since Pyro, I'll call an off tank. She has a lot of self-sustain, and with Ozzy, she can definitely stay healthy. So the Ozzy will focus orbs on Day, throw an orb on a Pyro whenever needed. Noble does not need healing. Pyro needs minimal healing, and Day need full healing. You'll focus your healing on Day, and Ozzy is more of support in this comp. You can swap out anything again for support, sure. But this comp is definitely very self-sufficient. It's all about planning and controlling the bump. It's not about running in and killing and then just fighting over and over. It's about the objective. And whenever you get the bump down, you can use Day to cut off a wall off a choke point for a long time. If they have to push into the bump, Pyro is probably one of the best characters when it comes to defending a place. And in general, the ultimate is super good at picking off backline. I highly try and recommend this comp. You will run into trouble versus a Day, for instance. So maybe focus down a Day so you can enable your own Pyro, ult in with Pyro, and then finish off the backline. Give it a try. I strongly believe that attack Destination is the hardest game mode in the game, and there is multiple options. I wouldn't rule out Nightcore in any way, and I won't rule out Devil as much either. I definitely can see a case for the Riot as well. Ultimate is great. But give this comp a try. I don't really have a name for it, any cool name, but it does work, 100%. The other comp I want to talk about is like a rush comp. I think this has a lot of potential, and it's actually a very strong comp. Once again, I don't have Noble in this one, even though I think Noble is the strongest. But I just want to show there is other comps available in this game, and it's like a rush comp. So the way this comp works is attack on Destination. You do have 5 minutes plus. You get 2 minutes, I believe, if you plant the bump. So the thought is here, you don't need to win many fights. You can actually lose a lot of fights, and then you can win the actual important fights. So Devil Ultimate synergizes insanely well with these two characters. So for this comp, and Riot's Ultimate is probably one of the strongest in the game. Pyros is super good for one fight as well. In general, you just want to stack up ultimates, and go together. So stack up your Riot ultimate, stack up your Devil ultimate, ult in, kill them all with the red Devil ultimate. You can, Devil and Riot ultimate, and you can also use the Pyro if needed. Usually these two can pretty much win a fight just on their own. Then you have Osmandias to deal damage, to amplify the others. You have Osmandias to protect the bomb afterwards, since both his ground abilities are so good at denying defuse. The orbs are just always good. He's always good. Okay, always good. So give this rush comp a try. I haven't seen it a lot, but I definitely feel like it's potential. The thing about Noble is you want to out-rotate your opponents, which is very good if your Noble player knows what he's doing, but that's not easy to pull off. And this comp up here is definitely harder to pull off. I think this comp has a lot of potential, and it's very much underutilized, since you can literally just win a fight with using your ultimates. And again, you want to play around their day. Careful, he can stun you, he can wall. Please focus down the day when it comes with Riot. Stun him, so he can't use his abilities. He is the counter every time to this comp. So focus him, but he can't slow you if he's hooked and stunned and killed. Anyway, so try this comp, the rush comp. I really think I'm a big fan of it. I hope I can play it more. So for defense, I actually might have to move Pyro up a tier. I think actually I'm sleeping on Pyro on detonation in general, but on pushback Pyro is really bad, really bad. But on detonation there's actually a lot of use cases. Moon has been talking about that a lot, saying she might be B tier. Okay, she's a high C tier at least, B tier. Anyway, let's go to detonation defense. So again, I think there's not much to talk about here. Defense is the... If you get defense on in solo queue, that's often a free win. That is very easy to do right now, and these two are most of the reason. So you want those two on everyone, Aussie and Noble. They're long range and control, they're zone control. It makes it so hard to push in anyway. You need a lot of coordination. Noble and both the long range, long damage. Usually people just can't get through these two. So every comp you really want this, and it's you can put in some control, and with the Pyro, for instance, since there will be comps that can again rush them down, and Pyro is pretty good at stopping that, or at least punishing them a lot by dealing a lot of damage. Pyro is very, again, self-sufficient, and if you have Pyro, might as well want to add a Devil. And the thing is, why Pyro over Riot, for instance? And it's because when they come to you, Pyro does more damage, Pyro is more self-sufficient, and Riot does have issues when it comes to hooking. If he's hooking and you have that on cooldown, that is a golden opportunity for your opponent to attack. Pyro doesn't leave many windows open, but Riot does. And this is more of a, again, I'm talking from a more competitive setting. In solo queue, people will probably not play around a missed hook. But if Riot misses hook, if the bubble is easily fast bursted, push, go in. Riot only has his melee attack afterwards, or his ultimate. But again, if he has an ultimate, you just go again next time. He won't have it next fight. That is how this game usually works. So try Pyro on defense, and Devil in general. Use her turret as to counter flankers. Use it as a vision tool. If you're holding A, put it behind. Make it watch the flanks. Don't always think about the turret as damage dealer. It can be very hard to duel for one person, but it's very easy to burst down as multiple persons. So use it as flank. Put it behind and fight outside the range. So it'll shoot like through the fight and just be annoying and give vision. I think it's a very strong tool and very underutilized. Everyone throws their Devil turrets forward. Throw them backwards. Much better. Anyway, so this comp is down here. I'll try to add a Day and Devil. So let's throw in Devil here again. Devil brings a lot of vision and control, as I said, and she can heal up Day. So you might see this comp very much reminds you of this one, the pushback long range comp, but Devil is just a little more. She has a little more utility. She's simply just stronger right now. She has a better ultimate than that Tesla. And even though you're not attacking, you can definitely use this ultimate to get your Day into a good position, just increase the general damage. It's not like these synergizes as much. Of course, Riot again synergizes better than Day. Can try that. But Day is generally just a strong character, and you can counter more comps with it. So this comp is just a very well-rounded comp where Noble flies around and delays. It makes up time for your Day to rotate. This is the problem with the comp, is Day is very slow. When Day gets to the fight, he is probably one of the strongest characters, and Devil will make sure he won't get run down, give him movement speed, give him damage. try and do missiles while you're ulted by a devil. It's a one shot on squishes, and in general you can get into a much better position with these two together. So give it a try. This comp is once again, it's a very easy, it's a very basic one, and I think this comp is super good on Destination as well. So all in all, these are the comps. There are many more. As you can see, there are some characters I haven't utilized even once. Once again, you might not want to pick those, but if you see your character in one of these comps and you're playing on one of these maps or attack or defend, you know, maybe give it a go. See if you can fit in the missing piece and play this comp together. I hope this was educational or helpful in any way. I've really been looking forward to it, and I want to make much more videos. So this is a composition guide. Thank you so much for looking and watching. Have a good evening.